All right, all right. Welcome everybody to another episode of Hot Seat Automotive Podcast. It's your buddy CJ here, talking about all things gearhead, automotive industry, and everything that we as automotive enthusiasts are interested in. This is the place to be for you and for me. Let's get into this. Federal government going hard at car dealerships in 2024 in the United States. Federal Trade Commission, United States Federal Trade Commission. New law, people, and it affects all of us. It's focused on the dealers, but it protects you and I and all consumers. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about the specifics. I'm going to tell you what I think, and I'll tell you right now, it might surprise you, some of the things I'm about to say on this. But let's get just to the facts. Just to the facts, man. Just the facts. So what is this thing? A couple things. FTC's new law is the C.A.R.S rule. And C.A.R.S stands for Combating Auto Retail Scams. U.S. Federal Trade Commission. They have the authority to establish rules, laws under Dodd-Frank, for example, to protect against deceptive and predatory practices. Now, this protects all of us. We're going to get into what the specific things are. I think most importantly to me, it protects our most vulnerable consumers. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about the genesis, where this is coming from. You know, this rule goes back to 2022 when the FTC announced what they're looking to do here. They welcomed some public comment. Obviously, automotive industry dealerships were generally against this. Not all. I'm not going to make wide and sweeping generalizations, but I will tell you that the NADA and other industry organizations were generally against this, and we'll talk about that. Some of that I think is kind of bunk. I think it's kind of bunk. What are we talking about here? The rule is really focused on the bait and switch, junk fees, disclosures, consent, and deceptive tactics. That's what it's protecting us against. The consumer, the gearhead, you and I, our kids, others in the automotive community. Think about it, right? And this is true. Context is everything. Buying an automobile, for most people, is one of the most significant material financial transactions they might ever go through. Longest term, biggest numbers, major implications. It's going to be either a massive lump sum or a material lump sum for you. Potential ongoing car payments can affect your credit. You buy a house or a condo or something like that. You typically have a real estate agent operating on your behalf, but also an attorney, a real estate attorney, someone who's in your corner, at least one person, one professional, maybe two, maybe more. You sit down at the car dealership. Car dealership is a business. They are not your friend. They don't work for you. Well, you're my client, Mr. Deitzman. Well, the reality is I'm a mark. I'm a sales opportunity for you. And everyone in that building, make no mistake, wants to separate me from what's in my wallet or in your wallet. And again, I'm not bashing the dealers. I'm being real. I wish more people would think like this. Dealership, not your friend. I don't go in there to make friends. I'm not there for the free coffee. I'm there for business, and you should be too. Let's get back to this. Exploitative and deceptive tactics. That's where it's focused. And it's really 4 pillars. I want to give them to you. You ready? 4 things you need to know about the FTC car rule. I'm going to give them to you right now. It's 372 pages. It's 372 pages. Here, I'll show you. Look at this. Look at this. Come on. Ain't nobody got time to read this. There's the rule. It's 372 pages. You got a choice. You can go read it, or you can talk to me. Talk to your buddy CJ. Let me give it to you straight, in all seriousness. So a couple things you got to know. You got to know. Focused on 4 things. 1, misrepresentations. There's got to be transparency and no more misrepresentations. Discounts, rebates, true cost of the vehicle. None of this, well, that price you saw actually already included the sweepstakes that you won. Are you kidding me? Oh, no, that already included 3 rebates. That's not the real price. Real price is $5,000 more. That's where we're starting at in negotiations. Are you kidding me? Stop it. Stop it with the misrepresentations. That's one thing. 2 is offering price, total cost. Actual cash price for the vehicle. It's the actual price. They have to disclose to you and to me and to any buyer. The dealers have to disclose the actual price available to any consumer for cash. Okay, so you can't play games with numbers. Someone said to me recently, oh, the numbers are facts. No, they're not. Anyone who tells you numbers are facts, don't walk away, run. It's not true. Numbers can be misrepresented easily, as evidenced by the FTC taking action here. Your federal government taking action. Whether you're pro-government, against government, that's not the purpose of this podcast. This podcast is focused on this new rule, what it means to you and I as gearheads, and how it protects us. Also, a little bit of context in the industry. Add-ons. Add-ons are huge in the new FTC C.A.R.S rule. All about these add-ons. And a couple things. It's got to be clear for you and I, as the buyer. The consumer's got to understand what's optional, what's coming from the OEM, the original equipment manufacturer, what's provided by the manufacturer of your vehicle, and then what does the dealer add on. Here's the use case. Nitrogen. Are you kidding me? All the car guys laughing. How about the nitrogen they put in their tires? What am I, going to an F1 racetrack? Get out of here. Come on. Tell me in the comments what you think about nitrogen in your tires. I can talk all day about this. I remember years ago when I was, another career, working in aviation, working on aircraft. We use nitrogen in tires for a very specific reason and use case. I don't need it in my Toyota Camry rolling on down the road. Get out of here. But anyway, I digress. If that nitrogen in your tires has no additional benefit to the consumer because it contains the same percentage and mix, and composition as regular air, that's deceptive. They've got to tell you that. They can't do that. Oh, you need the nitrogen. So I'm oversimplifying. I'm moving kind of fast. But bottom line, there must be a benefit to you and I. And that benefit has to be communicated, the optionality of these offerings, and the fact that it's not mandatory and provided by the original manufacturer. The other big thing, consent. Formal consent, conspicuous communications on the details of the transaction. And then you need my consent. And some dealers, big facts coming. You ready? Some dealers have been doing all of these things for years, and I applaud them. I'll call out. I bought multiple cars at Hendrick Porsche, Hendrick Mercedes. Fantastic dealership experience. I don't work for them. They don't owe me anything, and I sure as hell don't owe them anything. But I'm being real with you. It's the only way I roll. Whether it's the use of technology. Hendrick Porsche here in Charlotte, they got like a massive iPad. Last time I was in there buying a car, you see everything on screen. Very little pen. I like pen and paper still. That's me. I'm old school. But I also like the technology stuff. You review everything on screen, all the disclosures. So dealerships, don't tell me this is going to put you out of business. All that money you printed during COVID, all that money you made during COVID, invest some of it in technology to comply with the US FTC C.A.R.S Act. How do you like that? Boom. I just figured it out for you. Automate it. If we're negotiating and you adjust my deal, enter it into the software. Software generates all the disclosures and consents that you need. Boom, problem solved. Technology can find a way. Don't tell me, dealership association or dealer, well, it's going to cause you to have more paperwork. You're going to be here for an additional 2 hours doing all this paperwork. That's your problem. I'm a business person. Be real. I'm the consumer also. But don't give me that bunk. Bunk, isn't that funny? Funny word. But in all seriousness, figure it out. Figure it out. Everything, what do I think? What do I think about the FTC C.A.R.S rule? And again, I'm not here to beat dealers over the head. I've had good dealership experiences. I've had hideous dealership experiences. What do I think about the FTC C.A.R.S rule? Principles based, it's directionally correct. It is aligned with all the things in principle the dealerships should have been doing for you and I, for the consumers for years. You ready for this? You want to talk about the use case? And I talked about those that are most vulnerable. How about dealerships in close proximity to U.S. military bases? Where are my veterans at? Love our veterans. Okay? But how many times, I'm not a vet, but I know a lot. And I know a lot of young men and women I've talked to in the car community who are either in the military currently serving or who have. I also know peers of mine and everyone in between. And bottom line, what goes on at these dealerships? Not all of them, but let's be blunt. They take advantage of these young men and women. They get their bonuses. You're in the Army. You're at the military base. You got your bonus. You got your first couple paychecks. You run off to that dealership and they're foaming at the mouth. They're excited. They welcome you with open arms. Oh, we cater to the military. We support the military. And yeah, you know what they want? They want to get you in that 17.9% financing, locked in minimum 2 years, additional fees, can't leave the state with the vehicle. None of this is disclosed. And by the way, one way to look at that is, well, shame on that young man or woman for not reading the fine print. Listen, you're taking advantage of these young people. Stop it. Stop it. I'm going to go out on a limb. You ready for this? Young men and women out there, anyone, you go to the dealership, invite your buddy CJ. I'll negotiate on your behalf. I'll be there for you. Let me tell you something. Enter the warship. I am messing around. Dealership might not invite you back. But then again, I was that young man once. And I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to be honest. These new rules, this might be controversial, but I don't care. I can tell it like it is. They don't protect us from the dealerships as much as they protect us from ourselves. The FTC car rules protect us from ourselves. I'll say it again. Yeah, okay, in principle, they're protecting us from the predatory practices of the dealerships. And they're regulating the dealership, blah, blah, blah. Bottom line, you go in there, it's an emotional buy. It's like kid in candy store. And I've been guilty of it. I'm being real. I ain't in here telling you I was always as savvy as I am today. I wasn't. You know how many mistakes I bought in the car buying process? I could write a book. I'm going to write a book about all the mistakes I made buying cars. I made them all. I'm not laughing at you people who've been in tough spots. I've done it. But make no mistake, nobody in that dealership is working for you. If they tell you they are, it's not true. Call your buddy CJ. I'll tell you like it is. Let me tell you something. These rules will protect us from ourselves because to the extent that we don't realize that there's $8,000, I'm making this up, in optional extras that are being forced into the deal, or that we're actually paying an additional $20,000, I'm exaggerating, $20,000 in financing charges for a $40,000 vehicle. Net, I'm paying $60,000 plus $8,000 add-ons. I'm paying $68,000 for what could be a $40,000 vehicle, MSRP. The C.A.R.S rule will protect us from that. If you still buy that $40,000 Dodge Challenger or Mustang or Jeep, if you still buy that vehicle, that $40,000 vehicle for $68,000, you're the problem, not the dealership. Here's the good news. Good news for dealers. Let's look at the upside. Dealerships, stop complaining. Yeah, dealerships, I'm talking to you. Stop complaining about this. If anything, it enables your business, keeps you out of hot water. That's a good way to look at it. Embrace it. Because when and if that young man or woman, or the middle-aged dude, or anybody in between, the 35-year-old hotshot, just got that promotion coming in to buy that fancy car, and they choose to pay $15,000 in options that you installed, the rims, the tint, whatever, and their credit sucks, so they got 15 points, they're paying APR, they're paying above market, and they're locked in, and they can't leave the state. If that person still buys the car, that's on them. You did your job. Full disclosure. Eyes wide open. That's what we're talking about. Eyes wide open. And that's why I think FTC CARS rule, 100% directionally correct. It's where the industry should go. Okay? So you don't have to spend a couple hours reviewing 300 plus pages. Your buddy CJ just explained it to you. That's what I think about all this. I am a proponent of it. I want to know what you think. Leave your comments, like and subscribe. I love you guys. I'm so excited for 2024 and all the things that the automotive community and the industry is going to avail to you and I. I'm excited to be talking about it. I'm excited about the CARS rule. Dealerships, you should be excited about it too. Consumers, you should. US FTC is in your corner and good things are happening. Goes into effect July 2024. So see you on the next one, folks. Peace.